The basic plan I use to simplify something like the square root of 80 minus the square root of 20 when I do this with kids is to give them the list of perfect squares and ask them to find the largest perfect square that works with each number, 80 and 20. So we're going to break this up kind of like a factor tree, but we want to just focus on the largest perfect square. So we can work our way up the ladder, like if this is like rungs of a ladder over here. So 100 doesn't make sense. Neither does 81 because they're too big. It's like, okay, does 64 go into 80? And you kind of work your way up, and you're like, oh, 16. 16 is the largest perfect square that lives inside of 80. So we can break this into square root of 16, and you can figure out how many times it is. Sometimes I talk about like 16 ounces, 32 ounces, like pounds, to kind of make it relevant to something. And then 16 times 5. So 5 pounds of bananas would be 80 ounces. Then you do 20. 20 is a lot easier to figure out because of the fact that it's such a smaller number. Plus, with many different practice things, we run into square root of 4 and square root of 5. So then we have separated this into the good stuff and the junk. So sometimes like on the smart board or whatever, I got this here and that there, and that's those can't be simplified down easier, so we can kind of some color there lets me know that they are like terms and all that good stuff. So what do we got going on here? We got 4 square roots of 5, and we got 2 radical 5s. So we got 4 things and 2 things. So how many are we left with? We're left with 2 radical 5. So that's kind of the way that I like to attack these, is breaking out the largest perfect square. I am not a big fan of, I saw this on Twitter where somebody was trying to ask about this. I'm not a big fan of like doing the whole factor thing, like saying it's 2 times 2 and then another like 2 times 2 and then the times of 5, and then I don't know, it gets kind of messy. I'm more, like I said, I'm more of a fan of like thinking about the list of perfect squares over here, and trying to figure out, okay, what works in there. And so work your way up like rungs of a ladder, work your way up to figure out how to break this up. So again, square root of 16, square root of 5 minus square root of 4, square root of 5. So it's 4 radical 5 minus 2 radical 5. Gives me 2 radical 5. Hooray.